All right, welcome back to episode 5, Theology with Puppies. I have Marco again, and I want to talk about the difference between person and personhood. I am a human person. Marco is a dog person, right? I am a human hypostasis. Marco is a dog hypostasis. But Marco's personhood and my personhood are in fact the same. We are both sons. Our personhood is identical as son, right? Marco is a son. I am a son. That is my personhood. But our person, our hypostasis, is obviously very different because personhood does not include nature. That is your mode of existence in terms of how you exist, not what you exist as, okay? And what I mean by this is, I'm going to go to a quote from St. Gregory of Nyssa on Not Three Gods. I printed it out. I have everything on Kindle, so I'm going to be reading this off of a page. Please forgive me. But in speaking of cause and of the cause, we do not by these words denote nature, for no one would give the same definition of cause and of nature. But we indicate the difference in manner of existence. For when we say that one is caused and that the other is without cause, we do not divide the nature by the word cause, but only indicate the fact that the Son does not exist without generation, nor the Father by generation. But we must needs in the first place believe that something exists, and then scrutinize the manner of existence of the object of our belief. Thus the question of existence is one, and that of the mode of existence is another. To say that anything exists without generation sets forth the mode of its existence, and what exists is not indicated by this phrase. If one were to ask a husbandman about a tree, whether it were planted or had grown of itself, and he were to answer either that the tree had not been planted or that it was the result of planting, would he by that answer declare the nature of the tree? Surely not. But while saying how it exists, he would leave the question of its nature obscure and unexplained. So in the other case, when we learn that he, that is the Christ, is unbegotten, we are taught in what mode he exists, and how it is fit that we should conceive him as existing. But what he is, we do not hear in that phrase. When, therefore, we acknowledge such a distinction in the case of the Holy Trinity as to believe that one person is the cause and another is of the cause, we can no longer be accused of confounding the definition of the persons by the community of nature. Thus, since on the one hand the idea of cause differentiates the persons of the Holy Trinity, declaring that one exists without a cause and another is of the cause, and since on the one hand the divine nature is apprehended by every conception as unchangeable and undivided, for these reasons we properly declare the Godhead to be one, and God to be one, and employ in the singular all the other names which express divine attributes. And that's from Not Three Gods. So if you were to simply say, if no one were to know that Marco was a dog, and I said, I have a person, this could be confusing. But if you were to say Marco is a son, if I were to talk to someone and say Marco is a son, they would not know that Marco was a dog. They would not know what Marco is. They would know his person, Marco. They would know his personhood, son, but they would not know what he was or what he is. So, again, hypostasis is all of these things, right? My hypostasis exists also as a son. That is a quality of my existence, of which I am identical to my hypostasis, of which he is identical to his hypostasis. Just like he is identical in terms of male to me being identical in terms of male, right? If you say that a hypostasis is male, you do not know what nature that hypostasis is. Again, what and who. I'm again addressing the distinction between the whatness and the who-ness of hypostasis. Did you enjoy that video? Yeah? You're a sweet puppy. He's very sweet. Take care.